Just ahead on the Daily Digital Debrief. The latest details on the deadly shooting at a Texas elementary school yesterday, plus how those at Oxford High School reacted to the news out of Texas. And finally, a local nonprofit is hosting a cleanup event today in Jackson. All that and more, so don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss today's show.
This is the Daily Digital Debrief.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Daily Digital Debrief. Happy Wednesday. We finally made it halfway through the week. We are pushing through. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from and, of course, what you're up to for today. I would love to give you a shout out in today's show. But for now, let's jump into this afternoon's top stories. Well, we start off today's show with the heart-wrenching, devastating news out of Texas. By now, you've probably heard that an 18-year-old gunman opened fire at a South Texas elementary school. The number seems to be continuously climbing, but we know that at least 19 children and 2 adults were killed along with the suspected shooter, who was gunned down at the scene. We've also learned that the shooter, Salvador Ramos, barricaded himself in one classroom. Officials say the suspect was wearing body armor, and law enforcement officers eventually broke into the classroom and killed the gunman. We could go on and on about these details, but there's really no need. What happened was truly beyond belief and just really utterly disturbing. So it's just unfortunate to hear news like this again, because we just had the Oxford shooting not too long ago in November of last year, and now we have this shooting, and there's been so many other shootings here in Lansing. So just really heartbreaking news, and hoping that something like this does not happen again. Well, in light of the devastating news out of Texas, many leaders from around the nation have shared their thoughts on the horrific incident that has happened. Michigan Senator Gary Peters responded to the shooting on social media, and he said nobody should live in fear that their children won't return home at the end of the school day. And Michigan's other senator, Debbie Stabenow, also responded to the shooting on social media, and she said, "We don't have to live like this. No other country does." But one of the reactions that has gone particularly viral was that of Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr. Kerr has a long history of speaking about social issues, and when he was talking to the media before his team's game against the Dallas Mavericks, he just couldn't take it anymore. So let's take a listen.
I'm not going to talk about basketball. Nothing's happened with our team in the last 6 hours. We're going to start the same way tonight. Any basketball questions don't matter. Since we left shoot-around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here, and a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California, and now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of the, I'm sorry. I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple of years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power. So I ask you, Mitch McConnell, I ask all of you senators who refuse to do anything about the violence and school shootings and supermarket shootings, I ask you, are you going to put your own desire for power ahead of the lives of our children and our elderly and our churchgoers? Because that's what it looks like. It's what we do every week. So I'm fed up. I've had enough. We're going to play the game tonight, but I want every person here, every person listening to this, to think about your own child or grandchild or mother or father or sister, brother. How would you feel if this happened to you today? We can't get numb to this. We can't sit here and just read about it and go, well, let's have a moment of silence. Yeah, go Dubs, you know. Come on, Mavs, let's go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go play a basketball game. And 50 senators in Washington are going to hold us hostage. Do you realize that 90% of Americans, regardless of political party, want background check, universal background check? 90% of us, we are being held hostage by 50 senators in Washington who refuse to even put it to a vote, despite what we, the American people, want. They won't vote on it because they want to hold on to their own power. It's pathetic. I've had enough.
Wow, now what you just heard was some really powerful words from Steve Kerr. So just really interesting to see that this is just one person's opinion, but I think it can really connect with what a lot of us are feeling right now. So that's why we really wanted to share his words and his story today on the show. Well, a final spring litter cleanup event in Jackson will happen today, and it's hosted by a nonprofit. Jackson residents are invited to come out and volunteer at the MLK Equality Trail. This event is hosted by People for the Parks and Trails, which is a nonprofit that works to improve the Jackson community. Organizers say these volunteer projects are open to all Jackson residents and no prior sign-up is needed. Volunteers can just show up and go to work. Today's cleanup, along with the MLK Equality Trail, starts at 6 p.m. Also today, the City of Jackson is hosting a special tree dedication ceremony in honor of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and this will start at 12:15 p.m. Well, the horrific images coming from Texas are all too familiar for one Michigan town. Our reporter Josh Sanchez spoke with residents in Oxford and listened to their concerns about yet another school shooting. Let's take a listen.
Uvalde, Texas joins a heartbreaking list of communities shattered by gun violence in schools. The people in Oxford I spoke with say tonight their hearts go out to them, but enough is enough.
It was shocking, obviously, having it happen here, but you don't think it's ever going to happen at your own house, but then it does. So, you know, I think we're just all moving past it now, the initial shock of it. And we all just want the answers to why it happened.
The pain left behind from the fatal school shooting at Oxford High School is still fresh and visible around the historic district, even months after the tragedy. Amber Bertrand has lived in Oxford her whole life and is now raising a family here. She had just picked up her son from soccer practice when we spoke. She says it's frustrating and heartbreaking to hear the news of a mass shooting in a Texas elementary school.
When you take your kids to school, it's like, are you going to pick them up at the end of the day? Because that's what, I mean, look, it happened at elementary school, an adult got in, you know, so this, how did they get into the school? Because our schools are always in lockdown in a way, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just walk in, so why isn't that everywhere?
Back in November 2021, Oxford witnessed a horrific mass shooting that left 4 students dead and 7 others injured. Joshua Legg says one of his uncles teaches at the high school. Even though he didn't graduate from the school, his connection to the community runs deep. And connection, he says, is something we all need.
I mean, day one is always tough, you know. It always brings you back to community, you know, being with the ones you love the most and, you know, coming together as a community to try and move forward. And, you know, it's an awful thing what happened, but, I mean, all you can do is move on day to day and just keep remembering them.
Young people and people with families to grandparents told me what gets the families of victims and survivors through the initial grief and shock is community coming together. They say they hope the same for the people in Texas.
Thank you so much to our reporter Josh Sanchez for that report. We do really appreciate it. Really interesting to see the community of Oxford and see how they react to this similar situation that happened to them. Obviously just heartbreaking, and they're just very emotional over there because, like you said, you never know when something like this can occur. All right, now we are going to look at our weather forecast. Let's see if we can get it going here. Just one moment, guys. Sorry about that. Just one moment, guys. All right, so sorry about that, guys. We just had some technical difficulties, but we are back and rolling here. We are looking at the forecast for today. So let's see, we have rain showers will persist throughout much of the afternoon across mid-Michigan, and a few thunderstorms will become possible by this evening. Highs will hold steady in the low 70s, and winds out of the southeast could gust up to around 30 miles per hour. Well, it looks like it is a little bit of a rainy day here, so I would stay inside if I were you. But, you know, it looks like there is some good weather and some sunshine coming up for this Memorial Day, so we can all look forward to that. But right now, I wanted to share with you guys something really cool that our meteorologist, Blake Harms, is putting together for the morning show. Let's see. So this is the Forecast. So every day on the morning show, our meteorologist, Blake Harms, he likes to feature one pet. And if you'd like your pet to be featured on the show, just email that into WLNS. But today we have Percy. He lives in Holt, and his owner is Rick Blass. So Rick, if you are watching the show, you have such a cute little one right here. Looks like the forecast for walking your dog is not too good today because it is rainy. But you know what? Like we said, we have that good weather forecast coming up very soon here. So I hope you guys enjoyed something different with that forecast. I just thought that would be fun to share with you guys. All right, so thank you so much to our meteorologist, Blake Harms, for his weather breakdown. And as always, we love to give you guys a shout out in the comments to anyone who's watching on Facebook. So let's see what we have in the comments, and I would love to give you guys a shout out. Beth says, good afternoon on this rainy day. Good afternoon, Beth. Christina Smith, hello. Let's see, Navia, I hope I said that right, is watching from Detroit, Michigan. Shout out from Detroit. All right, Robin says, Eaton Rapids, hello from Eaton Rapids. Steve Baxley always has such a positive comment, and it really makes my day. I appreciate it. Steve says, hi, Autumn, John Moore, and everyone at 6 News WLNS. My heart cries after what happened yesterday. Yes, mine does, as well as everybody does. Just such young kiddos. And hug to your, let's see, he says, hug your kids, mid-Michigan, and to my fellow Texans, my heart is with you all. So very sweet comment from Steve. Robin says, when I was in school, we had fire drills. Now they have active shooter drills. That is so sad to see, but it's so real. And actually, we have a reporter on a story talking about how you tell your kids this type of news, and if you should tell your kids this type of news, because this is the world that we live in. Should we prepare them for something that happens like this, even though they are young? So very interesting and very sad. Beth says, moment of silence won't bring back these sweet babies. That's right. Doris says, sad, I'm sending prayers for all Texan families and friends. God bless all families. Let's see. Doris. Sorry, guys, I'm filtering through. Doris says, sad, I am sending prayers for all Texas families and friends. Oh, I just read that one. Sorry, guys. And hi, sweet everyone. Good morning. A happy Wednesday, Doris. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope your week is going great. Steve says, what about cats for the forecast? Can cats be part of it? Actually, they can be part of it, so it doesn't have to be just dogs. We just started it off with dogs, but actually we're including other animals as well. So if you have a cat, make sure to send that on in, Steve. Betty says, good afternoon. Let's see if we have anything else coming in. That looks like all the comments rolling in right now, but if you guys would like to comment through the rest of the show, I will make sure to read all of those comments for you. All right, let's take a quick break to hear from the Capital Area District Library, and we will be back in just 30 seconds.
You spend your whole life working, training, waiting for one shining moment to win it all.
Does he always have to do this? Yeah, I guess it's just a librarian thing.
Borrow lawn games for free with your cattle membership at cadl.org/things.
All right, I love that commercial. Thank you so much to the Capital Area District Library. We love them for sponsoring us and partnering with us. We really do appreciate you. And, you know, pick up your lawn games because Memorial Day is right around the corner. And like I said, Memorial Day is almost here. It's a day to remember those who laid down their lives for our country. But at WLNS and 6 News, we're also using the occasion to help those who served and who are still here and need some help. That's why we're working with Footprints for Michigan and Souls for Vets. Their Soul train will be parked in front of our station all day on Thursday. And they'll be taking donations of new shoes and socks and money to help homeless veterans across the state. We're on Saginaw across the highway from Frandor, and the truck will be there until 7 p.m. It's one more way 6 News is here for you. So make sure to stop on by on Thursday. We would love to see and meet you guys, and it's just a really nice opportunity to give back to our veterans and help those out who are struggling with shoes, socks, and a bit of cash. So make sure you guys stop on by for that. Well, moving things right along to this unique story where a man in Indianapolis has rebuilt a more than 100-year-old race car. It was originally made by his grandfather. The man says his grandfather was building cars by 16 and built his first race car in 1898. The town has a long connection with auto racing, and he is excited to show it off ahead of the Indianapolis 500 this weekend. But he has to make sure to keep it under 40 miles per hour to make sure that nothing breaks, which is still pretty fast for considering everything, that is. And our meteorologist Blake Harms, he absolutely loves racing, so he is headed out to the Indianapolis 500 this weekend. So it's really cool to see cars, race cars, what they used to look like compared to now, and how our technology and everything has transformed so much. It's so awesome to see. All right, well, let's take another look at our weather forecast. And while I'm doing this, make sure you guys are commenting what you're up to for today, and I would love to give you a shout out in our show. All right, let's see what we have going on for the rest of the week. It'll be a rainy end to the work week with showers and storms expected Thursday and a few lingering showers Friday. After that, though, the holiday weekend looks fantastic with warming temperatures and some sunshine. All right, that's what we love to hear. Blake has given us some good news for the end of the weekend. Let me know in the comments right now what you guys are doing for Memorial Day. If you have any plans, I'm really excited because our community is opening up a few pools, so I'm so excited to get in the water, dive in that water, and go swimming for this weekend. And it sounds like the temperatures are going to be warm enough to do so. So excited to see that the weather forecast is getting better for the rest of the week. All right, let's take one more look at the comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. All right. Betty says, good afternoon. Steve Baxley, Autumn, you rule. Steve, you are so sweet, and we really appreciate your viewership. Thank you. Amanda says, watching from Lansing. All right, we got a local here. Praying for the families in Texas. Looks like those are all of our comments coming in. We'll give one more second to those people that want to say anything. Any last comments? All right, so it looks like we are going to leave it off at that. And again, just our thoughts go out to those families in Texas and those kids that passed away, and of course the staff that passed away as well. So that is one final thought. But that is all the time we do have for today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the Daily Digital Debrief. Remember to download all of our apps. They are free, which is really nice. And it's really good if we have that breaking news. You can sign up for notifications and get that right straight to your phone, which is so nice, which is what I love. And we'll see you again for 6 News at 5, 5:30, and 6. And thank you guys again for tuning in for another edition of the Daily Digital Debrief. And we will see you guys tomorrow.